Hi guys, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot. Every week I make a video to help you route your energy to the positive, and astrology is probably one of the easiest mechanisms for that, because to me it's both visual and I can feel it's very energetic. So let's talk about the energy this week, because as far as weeks go, I think we're on the calmer side of energy. Last week was a lot of energy, and this week is about processing that energy and about moving forward with that energy. So we have a very active day on the 21st, which that is going to be on a Saturday. Venus enters Scorpio, and the Sun enters Sagittarius. So Venus entering into Scorpio is going to be in opposition with Uranus and Taurus, and squaring off with Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. And then with the Sun moving into Sagittarius, it is in some really beautiful energy. It is trining the North Node in Gemini, and it is in this beautiful sextile with Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, all in Capricorn. So the way that I want you to understand this week is we still have much of the same dynamics at play. We have a lot of energy in Venus this week, and Venus is moving into Scorpio this week. Venus rules relationships, partnerships, bonds, unions, attraction, love, the lavish side of life, the things that that help bring pleasure to this material realm. But Venus, more importantly, is a really deep, deep connection to what you hope to materialize in this particular lifetime. So when Venus moves into Scorpio, which it does on Saturday, and then the Sun moves into Sagittarius on the same day, this is about stretching the confines and the boundaries of our relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. And our relationship with money, what we seek pleasure in, all of those things are going to be, it's going to be expanded, and you're going to look at things in an entirely different way. This particular time in history is very interesting because everything that we sought comfort in is being changed. All of our comfort zones are being modified and molded into something different. And with that expansion comes a lot of pain, because anytime you have growing happening in your life, you experience growing pains. And our world, our country, our state, our relationships, and us as individuals, we're all experiencing this level of expansion that we've never seen before. There is a discomfort when you start to expand at this level, when you stretch those boundaries. It's much like, I don't know if you remember when you graduated from college, and you're done with a giant chapter, a giant section of your life, and you're on to the next level of adulthood, which is, okay, what do I do with this degree? How do I want to take time off, and do I want to explore my options for a while, or do I want to just go out there and try to tackle the world and make this degree count? It's like that kind of thinking. So when we move into this week, what you've got to understand is that any sort of power and control issue that you have had on an individual level is mirrored in relationships. So for some of you, if opposition helps you grow and expand and exceed your boundaries, then you're going to experience a ton of opposition this week, because it's helping you grow and expand and just look outside of the confines of your limited perspective. When the sun moves into Sagittarius, the most important thing to understand about this day is that you are expanding the confines of where your soul sits, the walls and the limitations and the restriction of that area. And when you expand your soul, you start to feel the potential of energy like this. Now, for some people, this sort of energy is exciting. It's new, it's fresh, it's exhilarating. And it really energizes them to want to just go out. It's like when you book a vacation and you go to the hotel and you drop off all your stuff, after being on the airplane for a really long time, and you look out your window in your hotel and you just see like the ocean sitting there and the waves and the potential for fun. And even though you're exhausted from the very long journey to get here, it's like you go out there and you're like, I've got to get down there. And you drop everything and you go out to play. This energy is much like that. For the people that absolutely cannot deal with change, they like everything to stay the same. They have very rigid thinking, and they absolutely will not adapt to on any level. This probably is some of the most uncomfortable energy you've ever felt. And there's a uneasiness in this type of energy, and there's a feeling of doom and gloom in this type of energy. There's a feeling of something dark is coming. When Venus moves into Scorpio, right? Sun is moving into Sagittarius. These are sister signs. There is always a shedding, a letting go, a release to have the freedom to expand your boundaries. Do you understand what I'm saying? So something has to end for you to be able to feel that freedom, that release, that expansion, that elevation in thinking. So when we're doing that, you have to understand that this is going to feel a little uncomfortable. When the sun moves into Sagittarius, the moon is in Aquarius. So that is a detachment from your emotions. You're becoming a little bit more intellectually motivated. I would say I'm intrigued. I would say you're reaching for probably some very unique mindsets. How do we solve these problems? How do we fix things? Trying things a little bit different to fix things, because when as the sun moves into Sagittarius and it expands us, you can beeline into that kind of energy a little bit easier, and you can dive into that realm. You can be a tiny bit idealistic in this energy because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. Now, mind you, Jupiter is squaring off, with Venus energy, but it is in the absolutely most beautiful sextile with the sun that's going to be in Sagittarius. So even though we're having the square in our relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions, we're having this direct link to soul and what our soul needs and wants and desires, and being much more authentic to us as an individual. So this is obviously honing you into, on a very intense level, areas where I think you've lost power in, but you're reclaiming that power. It is a very intense time, because if you want to attract a specific thing, and whether that be in the material realm, whether that be money, whether that be a relationship, partnership, bond, and union of any kind of alliance, any kind of person that you connect with, that you partner with, any kind of person you're intimate with, especially on any level, there's gonna be some sort of conversation about who's in control of this relationship, who is where is this going? Lots of conversations about the direction of your life, right? Because when the sun gets into Sagittarius, all of this energy is about moving forward. We had Mars in Aries go direct. How are we going to do this? The problem is that fear can control the destination as well. So we have this optimistic, fun-loving, Sagittarian, Jupiter energy, right? Telling you to move forward and just try something different, exciting. It's momentum. It's, it's exploring your options and really, really, really expanding those boundaries and getting you out of caged thinking. More importantly, I think that's the most important thing I could say. But there is your habitual desire to keep things the same because that makes you feel safe and everything stays predictable that way. We're not in predictable energy. Everything is being challenged. So that comfort zone that you're trying so damn hard to maintain, it's not the progressive energy, and you're not going with the flow of energy, and therefore it gets really, really, really hard when you're not going with the flow of energy. I think more importantly, what I'm trying to say, as we are moving into a very interesting time, because this is going to push your boundaries. It is going to free you up. But there's a harshness and a bluntness and a restlessness about this. Because the people who like control, people who find comfort zones in control because it's predictable and therefore they don't have variances in their energy, and they don't experience instability if they have variances in their energy, right? This is going to be such a freaking hard time, because if you are not a mutable soul, a free-flowing soul, gosh dang, guys, this is going to make you feel like you're out of control, like you cannot control the direction things are going in. It's going to be frustrating. Very, very frustrating. So some of the things that come up when Venus enters into Scorpio. So let's look at the positives and we'll look at the negatives. And then that's how you gauge where your energy is going. So positives in this energy, it intensifies some of your closest relationships, bonds, partnerships, and unions, makes them much more intimate. You're connecting at a different level. It's just so passionate, and I feel like we feel like we're closer than we've ever been. We realize what we want and we need from our relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions of any kind. This doesn't have to be the traditional boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. This could be the people that you live with, your best friends, your work relationships, anybody that you're collaborating with, anybody that you are reaching out to right now has some sort of key to something you need to unlock in your soul. This is penetrating below the surface of things. It is deep penetration. I can't emphasize that enough, that anytime you go into Scorpio season, it is about the penetration and going so deep below the surface that you're diving into some of the murkiest depths. It's It's where the secrets lie in your relationships, your partnerships, your bonds, and your unions. It's those hidden fetishes. It's those deep, deep fears about getting close and intimate with somebody. It really brings up a lot of upheaval in that kind of area. Now, positives are we need to focus on allowing this penetration to happen so that we can understand what lurks around in our murky depths, because relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions are mirrors. How are you doing as a soul? I mean, are you scared? Are you fear-based? Are you ready to explore? Are you living an authentic life? Are you having to hide things and keep things secret? Negatives. Oh my goodness. Possessiveness, controlling, obsessive, extremes in relationships. People just become people who need excessive validation through lots of sexual relationships. Well, then there's an insecurity that lies within you, right? Like if you have to go seek a lot of attention and you need validation that you are sexy, and so you go out there and you have to sleep with as many people as possible, well, then that just shows you that what it mirrors back is you're just insecure. You're not at rest. Your soul is not at peace. And it is seeking validation from anybody that will receive it. That's kind of the weird stuff that comes up in energy like this. This is a sad part that can come up in energy like this, because whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. It's squaring off in Venus. This can be abuse in relationships, power and control issues in relationships. You could be pessimistic and think, oh, the worst of possible thoughts about this relationship because you are insecure. So you are then projecting your insecurities onto your relationships. Old pain, old issues that we have not worked through, old disappointments, residual energy that's been lurking around in our murky depths, clouding the potential of any possible deep connection. So, of course, those come out in energy like this. Lots of trust issues come up in energy like this. And mindfully so, because a lot of truths come out in energy like this, especially in relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. If you have been lying, if you have been deceptive, if you have been a person who has been manipulating somebody in a relationship, usually you get found out in Scorpio season, just an FYI. And this is also very dominating and oppressive energy in relationships. You want to control your partner because you're scared, right? If this is only if you're in a negative headspace. This is a beautiful week. One of the things I love about when we get into Sagittarian energy is the world is your oyster. You can pick a new life. You can pick a new destination, and you can overcome these things through lots of really fun ways, like lots of very interesting ways. But there is a component that is in this energy that I feel like is very interesting. Because I think that for all of us that are shedding old stories, closing old chapters, that are taking accountability, personal accountability for our end of things, I think that this is probably one of the most benefic times you're probably ever experiencing. Yeah, sure, there's upheaval. There's lots of things that are unknown. There's things that are changing and molding right before your eyes, and it feels like nothing is consistent and nothing is the same. But for those type of people, this is exciting because they're sick and tired of the way that things always have been. It has been suffocating, oppressive. It has been has left you in fearful states. You are done with something else controlling your choices. you need to break free. You need to be released from this life that was absolutely suffocating your potential. Things are not going to be the same, guys. Trying to predict where it's going to go, because Uranus is in Taurus and it's in retrograde. And because Uranus is in Taurus, the traditional way that things have always been done is there's a chaotic element to it. And so we're being shook up in that area. And if you could just look at it like, this is energy, this is the way that the universe, God, spirit, your angels, your guardians, whatever you deem that to be in your spiritual journey, if you could just understand that it's being shook up and there's no going back. And the traditional mindsets, I mean the absolute old traditional mindsets, are absolutely being changed and will never, ever be the same. If you can embrace that, then I'll give you for instance. I got hit by a drunk driver, and they just totaled my car about a week ago. I think it was last Monday. And when they did that, I had a car payment. Now, car payment has always been a worry with me with the economy the way that it is. And I've always wished I didn't have the car payment, okay? Then I get hit by this drunk driver, and then they total my car, which pays off my car loan. And I'm just sitting here without a car, and I'm thinking, I've got money in my bank. I can go and get another car, right? There's this part of me that has always wanted to go green, to be without a car, to take a bike, to take public transportation, which I already do anyway. Even though I had a car, I was always taking public transportation because I didn't like driving in Seattle. I decided I'm not going to buy a car. I'm going to go totally green, and I'm going to just explore that boundary and see what that life has to offer. If I hate it, I've got a savings account. I'll just go get a car. Hopefully a car that is like an electric car. Something that I can give back to my beautiful Mother Earth, because I'm super connected to Mother Earth. So I have been, for the first time, walking. I walk 10 miles a day now. And there is a connection to that it's opening up something in me that I didn't know I needed to be. And so I took it as a sign that Spirit just removed something that was a huge financial burden on me, freed up tons of money. And now, and the cool thing about living in Seattle is I have the ability to always take public transportation anywhere I want to. And I'm within walking distance of everything. So like my life is, it's easy to do this, but it is expanding a comfort zone, because it's not like I can just now go jump in my car and go do whatever I want. Now it takes out a plan, and it takes, and you know, if I want to go to, you know, if I want a car, I basically call Rent a Car, and I can basically have them drive to my house, and then I can have a car for however long I need it. So it's just it's a boundary I'm exploring, and that's the Sagittarian sun, right? With this Venus and Scorpio kind of energy. It's like, I don't know, let's explore that and see what happens. Let's break free from my fear of not having a car for a while and see what happens with that. If I hate it, I hate it. I make another choice, right? Let's just see. It's easier for me. I'm a Gemini rising, so I am always changing skin, you know? So it's no big deal. But for people who, that would be terrible if it happened to somebody who always desires a level of control. You know, that would be a huge deal. But for me, it was like, okay, maybe this is a sign that I need to do this, that I've been wanting to do it. I don't know, like, just don't be afraid to look at the universe in the midst of all of this instability and chaos and say, I want this lifestyle. Because my love, you can have it, but you have got to go outside of a comfort zone to get it. You've got to have your boundaries pushed. You've got to make a commitment to it. It's a commitment to walk 10 miles a day. I am fracking sore. But it's that commitment to the life I want. I randomly got a $4,000 check in the mail 2 days ago. Because I'm making a commitment to Spirit, and Spirit is rewarding me. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that just goes into savings. I don't even need to touch it. But if you're going with the flow of energy, things get attracted to you that are beyond your capacity to understand, because it's outside of the boundaries of your thinking. I know I'm sounding a little Sagittarian sun here. If you ever sit down with your little cute little Saggies, they're out of limits, man. It's my 7th house, so it's pretty easy for me to stretch those brain cells out that big. But this is some amazing energy. I know what we see on TV is chaotic and it's uncomfortable and it sucks. But those are for people who they're trying to keep everything the same, and they're trying to be in control, and the only thing that they want is power, and they're doing that at the detriment of others, and it's just an ugly world. That ugly world is breaking down, honey. It's just combusting. I think the best way to gauge where your energy is are you receiving, or are you constantly going through something? Is stuff coming up over and over again? Are you living fear-based? Are you sad? Are you unhappy? Are you stressed? Are you experiencing tons of anxiety, tons of mental unrest? Are you getting caught up in the chaos? Or are you floating along a cloud thinking, dang, life is getting kind of interesting? Like, whoa, that happened to me. I just got this blessing. Where'd that come from? Like, if you're getting that, you're on the right track. If you are just caught in this sadness and chaos, and look, I'm not saying that with these power and control struggles that are coming down the pike, and this storm that I know is just brewing and brewing and brewing and brewing and brewing and brewing, the slow storm. We are in the storm still. We think that we have released that through, a change in power. If somebody who comes into power maintains the level of dysfunction and abuse over power, we're still going to experience the same level of chaos, just with a different person at the helm. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what we need to do is there needs to be a change. Somebody who steps into power needs to understand how to really regulate power properly. That will bring us a benefic time. But if somebody gets into office, or somebody gets control over something, and they try to then go back to the way things were and keep everything the same, it's going to implode regardless of who's in charge, because that's spirit right now. That's the energy of the universe. That's God. That's your angels. That's your guardians. They're done with us abusing each other, and it's just, I don't know, such a big way of thinking, and I'm talking to Sagittarians, so I'm gonna stop here. But the astrology is fun this week. It's a great time to get very intimate, and just really sink into your partners, and to connect, and to just really desire a deep connection. But it's also a great time to just really love yourself. Love your flaws, love your weaknesses, all the things you fear about yourself. Look at them, address them, because you can overcome them, and you can become empowered after doing this. I hope you guys have a fabulous week. I am going to be back. I'm excited to do our little pick-a-card readings together, and let's have a little bit more fun. And I feel the energy shifting and changing. Could be because it's shifting and changing in my life, but we'll see what those pick-a-card readings have to say. Have a wonderful day. I wish you just so much love, and just go out there and be the change you guys want to see in the world, okay? guys, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead. And welcome back. Oh, the astrology was so crazy. I literally only had time for it. So I'm so sorry. But I missed my cards. And today this is like one of those weeks where I feel like we can take a breath. Yes, energy is shifting and changing as always, but I don't feel like it is every day. There's another big energy with lots and tons of news that's really going to oversaturate us and make it hard for us to, veer our energy in a specific direction. Really, the big energy shifts that we're going to be having is on November 21st. Which is Saturday, and that's going to be Venus in Scorpio, or Venus moves into Scorpio energy, and then we have the Sun moves into Sagittarius energy. So the Sun moving into Sagittarius can make us have a positive outlook. We can be finally optimistic. We can be a bit restless to get things moving in a forward direction. It is going to elevate our minds and expand our boundaries. Venus moving into Scorpio is basically, it's going to intensify our relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. We're going to want to have deep connections, and we're going to want to be, we're going to have lots of deep conversations. We want to be vulnerable. Some of us may want to take our masks off. Truths may be revealed, lies may be revealed. That sort of stuff happens in energy like this. So yes, it's a highly energetic day. And energy always builds, but it's not like terrible. So let's talk about what this week means for you guys, pile number one. So pile number one, you guys chose the Empress from the Heaven and Earth Tarot that I just got, and I am doing an unboxing this week on this, guys. It's an amazing deck, lots of astrology in it, so pretty much loving it for all you astrology lovers out there. But this is the Empress, and if you are tuning into this card, the Empress helps things grow and flourish, especially things that we want to possess and attract into our lives. She is a very divine energy connected to the earth. So a much more grounded approach, a deep connection, something that has to do with those long range goals, the things that you want to materialize in the physical realm, she will bless you with. So for some of you, you guys are probably very, very tuned into this Venus and Scorpio energy, because that is the Venus sign up there. And as you can see on here, it has Taurus and Libra represented down here along with Venus. So Venus is going to be squaring off with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So if you guys are having power and control struggles in relationships, this is about equalizing the power. If one person is chasing after the other one all the time, let's say, and always, like one person in the relationship dominates the other, or the other one just submits because they just want to keep the peace. Those are the things you guys are going to be visiting in this week and moving forward as Venus moves through this transit, about stabilizing, equalizing out that power and not having one person dominate and control the relationship all the time. It's about, no more verbal abuse, no more physical abuse in relationships. There's no more of the areas where you don't have control. It's like you're going to want to get control over a relationship, partnership, bonds, and unions. This could be business partners. This could be people that you're intensely connected to, deeply connected to. So this could also be, your in general, your connections that you make with people to help you in the material realm. Your standing up and getting noticed, I guess. For some of you, that's taking off the mask and getting a little bit more connected to somebody, more truthful. So let's see what your guys' tea is, okay? Love. Yeah, you guys are really into this whole Venus energy that's going on this week. When we step into Scorpio energy, it intensifies our emotions. It's our deep emotions. It's the crevices where we swim around in, the murky depths of those emotional realms. It's not this shallow, superficial connections that we make that help our days go by, right? It is those people that penetrate us in every way. We want those people closer, deeper. We want it to be, we want to be overwhelmed by our connections. You know, it's revitalizing those, it's transforming those connections into something that's more sustaining, much more, that feeds the emotional realm a little bit more. Let's see what we have here. Oh, we have goldfish, increase in material wealth and spiritual growth. So that's very transformative energy. One of the things that can happen, especially with the sun in Sagittarius, in a gorgeous sextile with Jupiter and Saturn. This is anything you want to materialize in the physical realm can be done in energy like this. Like it really can. You can really manifest if you dive deep and want it from that deep level, you know, where you just feel it in your bones. You know, it can't be like, oh yeah, I want that. You know, you can't feel it there. It won't manifest. Bird flying. News is on the way. Ooh. So Mercury in Scorpio is in this gorgeous like trine with Neptune and Pisces. And when there's a trine like this with the Scorpio energy, this is again, you know, really getting caught up in the fantasy of our deep bonds, like really being idyllic almost about, and this could be a past connection. This could be news coming along the way. It could be somebody is reconnecting with you from your past because Neptune and Pisces is in retrograde. So some of you, it just literally could be a Pisces reaching out to you. But it also could be that it is, you know, somebody who has a more whimsical nature, somebody who is much more idealistic about life, somebody who lightens things up, you know, and balances out the deepness. We have the kangaroo. We have unsettled times, need to plan ahead. Well, we all know that things are going to get dicey. And if they're not dicey yet, they will be for you, because when we're dealing with power and control struggles in the world, Mars in Aries is squaring off with Jupiter and Pluto and in a quincunx with Mercury. So for some of you that are angry about power and control issues in relationships, and you know this Empress, you know you deserve more, you are done, you want a deeper connection, you're sick of shallow connections with people that are only based around, let's say, sex or whatever, you're really needing and craving at this point to grow something that's more sustainable. Okay. What do we have here? This is Soul Cards 2. Ooh, this is an intense card for me. I'm looking at the face being reluctant, but the body of a horse. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is saying you need to move forward. You need to stop making excuses and start moving forward. But there's a hesitation in that little face right there. There's so much to be optimistic about, but I feel like our neurological system is so predisposed right now to be triggered into anything negative because we've heightened its its instincts. You know what I mean? And so our neurological system is a little messed up. I'm feeling like that. I feel like there's a neurological issue right now. Hypersensitivity is one of the things you feel. Anxiety is what you feel when you get this way, because we have all this Scorpio energy. It could be a restlessness. It could be, what am I feeling neurologically with you guys? Because it's like super intense to feel weighted down. Still oppressed. I'm feeling still oppressed, but I don't know why I'm feeling that way when we're moving forward, right? The bird is flying. But I feel like you're not ready to move forward, so maybe you're just waiting for something to happen. I don't know. Sorry if I'm feeling something wrong, but it feels bad. Black egg, and then I pick up the black in the egg. I'm sure that doesn't mean that, but it just felt very intense to me. Let's see here. So black egg. It's in spirit. Black egg. Okay, guys. I'm going to hold that there. It says the black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies. Not even white ones. The living and the breathing vessels harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, and teaching, singing, and perhaps even public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, and the concept of the truth. Sorry, I'm sorry. Got to move that back. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself, and what is true about the world? When this energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. Yeah, I do feel a bit of disconnection, especially with this guy. This feels like unmasking something, or revealing something, or a little bit. Look, whatever the Empress touches, she grows. Okay? For you. She's a blessing in your reading. She is my favorite energy, because when she comes in, she's Mother Earth. She nurtures you. She loves you. She's there with open arms to nurture those deep wounds. So if you want to unearth some of this stuff right now and really dive deep into some of those areas where fear kind of festers and where you're afraid of the truth, she's a healer in the best sense, because it's slow healing, it's gentle healing, it's nurturing and loving healing. It's not you pushing you and breaking you down, and Saturn's kind of way of loving you. And so I would really be mindful of, like, if you're, a little uneasy, suffering from a little bit of just high energy, like you're almost on the neurotic level, she's here to take care of that. If some of you are just, I'm feeling too, I'm sorry, but I'm feeling like love is something that you guys fear. I'm feeling like falling in love with somebody and being connected to somebody truly deeply makes you feel vulnerable. And she's wanting you to love that way. So that's what I'm feeling from her. Oh, we have 99. 99 is 18, and then it, of course, is 9. So compassion. I feel like when we have this purple energy is really sparkly around your crown. Like if you were to just close your eyes and if you were to just picture purple there, it's really kind of a sparkly energy of like opening up your mind and being much more broad-minded. Sun and Sagittarius energy, especially with Jupiter and Saturn opening this up, is releasing you from a very hard journey. If it has to do with compassion, as it says in this card, I think nines of conclusions, of culminations, of endings, and of course that coincides with all the Scorpio energy. When I see this, I'm feeling very deeply like you need to just, there's so much energy in you that you don't know is lurking around in there. And I feel like you need to really do some work on releasing some of that and just giving it to spirit and letting it just take it. Because like we can't control what we can't control. So if some of you have this strong desire to control things, partners, relationships, bonds of any kind, money issues, the economy, all those big, huge things that we think about. Let's hone it down a little bit and you need to, I think, heal the emotional body. Your emotional body is like really talking to me right now. Oh, solitude. Yeah, I feel like some of you really do need some serious downtime. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look at the Ghost Tarot here. It's like, I cannot live without this freaking deck. This Ghost Tarot is like literally the live and the end. Like, I can't. Because we're in Scorpio season. And so we got to dive deep into those dark places, and that's where the Ghost Tarot really does it for me personally. Because there's some stuff going on with ego in this week. And we got to figure out what is going on with ego. Because ego, there's some vulnerability with ego in here. Really tuning you into feminine energy, by the way. I'm seeing feminine energy. And sometimes we feel a little bit more vulnerable when we're in feminine mindsets. We don't feel like as dominating and controlling and, all those power things that we can do. So it doesn't need to be read in reverse. It's intense enough. Oh, okay. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to make sure that all these get in the shot pretty good. They do. I'm just hoping there's not a glare, but I'll pull them up if there is a glare. All right, so we have the Knight of Swords. I feel like in the past you were a little bit foolhardy. You were risky, daring. I feel like you're more reserved right now. I feel like you're not, like maybe there's some longing to be this person again, this confident, energized, kind of free-spirited kind of person that just takes risks and just sees what happens. But it feels very reserved to me. You don't feel like that person right now. And then we have another King of Swords. I'm feeling like you're really caught in the analytical portion of your brain. And you're trying to make sense of it all, and that's the way that you feel like you're in control, is making sense of it all. Like looking at things logically and rationally. The problem is in the emotional realm, you can't really look at things like that. Like it's not possible. Emotions aren't rational. They don't make sense all the time. And they come from places where you don't even understand that emotion exists, or that trigger exists, or that pain exists, or that suppressed memory exists. So you're trying to be rational, but that's not what is going to pull out the magic in this energy. This energy isn't rational. It's connected to spirit. It's connected to source. So if you are a person that's just like trying to rationalize everything, make sense of everything, because that makes you feel like more in control, I'm feeling not so good for you. You have all three of these are swords. There's a part of you that's vacillating.
this feels very, you feel very indecisive. You don't feel like, you don't feel like you have control. So some of you, this could be, maybe you were a little too detached in relationships, or maybe when you are working in your relationships, you're the person that everybody goes to for advice. Maybe you're the person that is, the person that everybody needs and something from. But I feel like what you deeply yearn for on that Venus and Scorpio level, and this Empress's level, what you deeply yearn for is for somebody to be there for you, for somebody to love and care for you, somebody to take away your worries, somebody for you to talk to. But you have to admire that person. And it's hard because I feel like you're a very intellectual person. And so it's hard for you to find somebody who's the equivalent of your mentality, of your intelligence. Let's see here. Let's see what the Light Seer deck has to say. You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to do, I never have a plan when I do this stuff. I just live my best life. Okay. I think it's like my Sagittarius, 7th house. You have the Sage. Okay. All right, so I like that. The Sage Upright is a very good card to get. The Sage Upright is you are learning. You're in a philosophical phase with yourself. You are expanding the confines of where your mind usually lies. This would be opening up your perspective. This would be seeking knowledge, seeking help, seeking counsel, would be really good for some of you. I feel like on an energetic level, okay. How does that look? Okay. All right. Oh, giving and receiving. That's like my favorite card. Every time I get it, I give a gift to somebody, because I know that I'm blessed, and so I need to give back. Okay. All right, guys. So let's take a look at, this is beginning of week, midweek, end of week. It's been a while since I've done this. I'm like feeling like out of my groove. Okay, let's take a look at these 3 cards together. So I feel like some of you probably gave a lot. I feel like some of you are like a source for people. They come to you, they need you, they need your advice, they need financial assistance, they need help in some way. You're just that person that I feel like it's the strength for other people. I feel like you keep people strong. Funny thing is deep down, you yearn for that. Like deep down, I think you want to receive it back now. Like it's a yearning. I feel with you. I don't know why I feel that, but I do. Okay. Aw. You're the strong one. You're the resourceful one. You're the person everybody goes to. You've got 2 Ten of Swords here. This is about releasing and letting go of old patterns and ways of being. Look, our words are super powerful. And if we never say how we feel, then people don't know how we feel. Especially if you're a persona, which I feel like you are. You have a very strong persona. I don't feel like people, they misread you. You wear this tough person mask, and deep down, really all you're doing is hoping and trying to manifest more in your life. I mean, you want something. The magic is in the air for you to be able to manifest. Anytime I get the Magician, I think of us yielding and working with our energy to manifest what we deeply want and desire. You have the power in this week. So if you're really into the power of the mind, like you seem to be, since it's all swords, then use that mind to your advantage. Use that mind to empower your life and to take back what has been taken from you. And when we give so much power to the external world, and then it delegates how we're supposed to feel. No, you have the power over how you feel and what is going on with you. She's such a beautiful blessing. I love her so much. My beautiful Mother Earth. Okay, so we've got the Two of Swords here. We've got the Three of Wands, and then we've got this Five of Pentacles. This is just somebody with a lot of things on their mind. You have a lot of decisions to make, but I just feel like you are very tired. You're very overwhelmed. This has been a tough experience for you, and I feel like maybe that's why this card is, I feel like sometimes when we concentrate too much on making the right decision, we can't make the right decision because we're concentrating too much on it. Sometimes getting out, getting away, expanding your boundaries, going off grid, walking in nature, sometimes just removing yourself from your familiar world, right? And putting yourself in a different setting can sometimes help this waffling and this worry go away. Because I feel like, there's only so much you can change, and that's just the reality of our situation. So let's do this, because I'm going to try to be more organized with these, because I really like them. And I'll see what this looks like to you guys. Just a second here. Pile number 1 is always like, how do I want to do this pile? Pile number 2 is, I'm in the groove. Pile number 3 is, whatever. It's crazy. Alrighty. Oh, we have fairies. Earth magic. Ooh, and then we've got the beautiful Mother Earth here. I feel like getting into nature, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like you choosing to be alone and just going somewhere and just thinking, removing yourself from the material realm is the fastest way to detach yourself emotionally from intensity. I feel like you guys could really use that. You could use that to connect to the magic. If you ever go into a forest, the earth's energy, the vibration there is so pure that it's a life-altering experience like every time you go. If you're by yourself, if you're not like managing an entire family and packing stuff and taking people with you and working with people and trying to help try to be conscious of what other people need, go there in yourself and just meet your own needs. If you're not a huge hiker and you're tired, just sit and listen to the sounds of nature. It doesn't have to be some giant hiking trip. Oh my gosh, look at this, guys. Release. Anytime we get into the sun in Sagittarius, that brings out our adventurous spirit. It brings out that need to travel, to stretch our boundaries, to stretch our legs, to open our mind, to be much more philosophical, and to look at things from this really, really, really broad perspective. Just watch the leaves fall off the tree. And with every leaf that falls off that tree, just envision that is a memory or a bad feeling that you are shedding out of your body. And it's decaying and it's going back to the earth to feed that tree so it can grow again. Like, really get into that meditative mindset. It's so simple, but yet so healing, because it's a shedding of you and what you're holding on to, especially in this murky depths of our minds in this Scorpio season. Okay, we have taking shelter. Answers are within. Hun, you have solitude. Answers are within. We've got the black egg here. There is something sitting in you, really, really buried deep inside of you, really needs to come out, really needs to be dealt with, and needs to be shed. And and Mother Earth will heal. So like it's a confronting energy. I feel like it's something that you deeply need to take a look at, because like the earth is trying, the earth, Mother Earth is trying to tell you that she wants to take a look at this. Okay, guys, so we are on to charms. Let's see here. Okay, let's see what we have. Oh, we have a lot. Okay. Oops. Oops is slipping. Oops is like making a decision. It's like, oops, effed up. Sometimes I feel like with the 5, our oopses get out of control. You know, we're human beings, and we're so intense on making every right decision, especially if you've got all these swords. You get to have oops moments, and they just need to be that. They don't need to be so freaking intense, man. Oh, you've got your little robin. A robin is an opportunistic bird. I used to watch them when I would water my lawn. They wait for the water to for the ground to get really, really watered down. And all of the earthworms come up to the surface, right? Because it's nice and watery. And then the robins just eat. They have a great time. So I feel like maybe you haven't had enough energy, or you haven't had the capacity to just really this is the right opportunity is what I'm trying to say. And maybe in the past it wasn't the right opportunity. I'm feeling a little transformation here with this Scorpio energy. I'm feeling like we need to be equally mindful when we're in our most vulnerable state. We can't fly off. We are confined to our circumstances. We are in transformative energy, but there's also a little bit of vulnerability to it. Some of you just need to lighten the frack up. A lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people I know, because I live in Seattle, Washington, so everybody smokes weed, so it's not a big deal. Personally, I don't, but like a lot of people do. And some people, the best way for them to get out of their heads and to stop overthinking and worrying and obsessing and to stop trying to be there for everybody and just everything is to just smoke weed and go walk in the freaking forest. Because everything is height and the colors are amazing. Like, I don't know, like that's just my opinion. This is a love seat. A little love seat, and it's got little pillows that look like little hearts. So to me, that looks like a love seat is just big enough for 2 people. So some of you, this has to do with a very intimate bond. This is just very beautiful. Swans mate for life. You guys have a lot of energy around love. If some of you are like, Annette, I don't have a partner, I don't know what you're talking about, well, then it's a lot of loving yourself. A lot of, you know what? The number 1 relationship that you have in your life is with yourself. And if you are being hard on yourself and you are being tough that you haven't made right decisions and you are wishing for a different life, just go in nature and just let all that go. You don't need to have those conversations with yourself right now. We've had enough negative conversations. We need some positive conversations. So we have the 7 of Pentacles. This is working hard. 7 of Pentacles is you had an expectation, and it either didn't grow or manifest in the way that you wanted to. You have your little magician here. It didn't grow or manifest in the way that you wanted to, so try something different. Damn it. Why do we put so much emphasis on one specific thing or one specific person or one specific destination when life is about a journey? It's about expanding us and taking us in different directions all the time. We veer off course all the time. Big fracking deal, dude. We have the 3 of, my brain is like swords. Sorry, my brain is like, whew. You have another 3. Oh, okay. I want to just point this out. She rules 3s. You have a 3 of swords here, and you had a 3 of wands here. So 3s are speaking to you. So even watch pile number 3, because that might have something more to say than what's being said here. 3 is, there's some balance needed. There's one extreme, the other extreme, and one in the middle, right? And so you want to be in the middle. There's that going on. But 3 is just, it has more to do with other people than just you. This is about collaborative efforts. This is about, I don't know, sometimes playing with boundaries too, playing with extremes and seeing where you want to be. That can be 3 energy. Being a 3 life path sucks because you're just like always up for anything. Like you just, and whatever happens, happens. Like you're not going to overthink it. Okay, guys, let's see what letters we have, or what words we have, and letters. Wait a minute, let me do this. Oh my gosh, the candle that I got just smells like fracking amazing. It's like, I love you so much. I'm such a smell person. It brings me utter, ooh, what's that? What the, oh, I saw it right away. So we're going to just talk about it. Oh, hide out. Oh, shoot. That was like insane. Hide out. You have taking shelter. You have solitude. You have the sage. This is a lot of energy telling you that you need some downtime. You need some time to yourself. You need some time. Sagittarian energy is very independent. They are their own little birds. They just go into the world and they don't need nobody, you know? And so I feel like you guys need to just transition away from life right now. Oh my God, look at you. You are so feeling this vibe of the Sagittarian sun. You need to be free. You need to look at your options. I mean, you just want to break free. You've been hindered. You just don't realize how much you need to run. You need to run. You need to get whimsical and fantastical, and you just need to play. You need to go play. Just play and have a good time. And you know, playing to me is, I don't know where I'm going. Like my kind of playtime is probably irritating to everybody else, but I want to put on a backpack. I want to go into some forest that I don't know about. I'm just going to pick some trail off of a map. And then I'm just going to go there and I'm going to see what the hell is going on. Like it makes me feel like I'm discovering something. It makes me feel like I'm conquering something. It's just like this energy. You need stuff like that. Like play. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. Much love to all of you, and just go out there and be the change you want to see in the world, and get your butt, like, go be alone. Take some time to yourself and have a great time. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi guys, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead. And this week is regarding the 15th through the 22nd, and we have Venus moving into Scorpio this week, and we have the Sun moving into Sagittarian energy. So Sun being the center, everything revolves around the Sun, is moving into Sagittarian energy, the great wanderer and explorer of the universe, both mentally and physically, right? This is the energy that makes you want to move, makes you want to take off, makes you want to, you get restless in energy, like Sagittarian Sun energy, right? We also have Venus in Scorpio. Venus rules relationships, partnerships, bonds, unions, money, what you want to attract into the material realm. That is going into Scorpio energy. So what you really want to attract is really, really deep connections, really, really soulful connections, you know. You really want to penetrate below the surface of things. And you really just want, so I feel like many of you are exploring the emotional realm. And the reason I say that is because you guys chose the Chariot. And this is the Heaven and Earth Tarot, which I'm kind of obsessed with, not gonna lie. All right. The Chariot card is the Moon in Cancer's energy. So for some of you, you're really driven by the emotional realm and the way that you feel. More importantly, it's very intuitive energy. Sorry, I had the fireplace going on in the background and it was just really crackly and loud. I didn't want it to bug you guys. So this card is it's an interesting card because the Chariot is solely driven by polarity. It's by the ebb and flow of a tide, right? And so what you receive, you give, and what you give, you receive. It's kind of the ebb and flow of energy. But it's also incredibly intuitively based, and there's no steadiness in the Chariot. It's all or nothing, right? The movement, especially when you deal with anything on an emotional level. This is, you're really, really deeply connected to things that matter. Most of the time that has to do with home, family, a sense of security, a sense of safety. This has a lot to do with protecting, mothering. It's funny because we have the Sun in Sagittarius and we have Venus in Scorpio. Listen to the contradiction in that energy. That's essentially the white and the black Sphinx down here, right? So the Sagittarius is a great wanderer, restless energy, wants to go explore every boundary it can, push every limit, excessive. But Scorpio energy is the opposite. It likes to control everything. It wants to feel safe because deep down, there's a lot of fear that's associated with Scorpion energy. There's a lot of intensity and there's a lot of, so it's like there's this intense energy, especially in your emotional realm, where you're needing to break free. Okay, so here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like there's an emotional restriction and you want to break free from that. And intuitively, you're being guided to, stop with the oppression. Like you want to break free from oppression. You want to break free from submission. You're restless. Like you're done with something else having control over you and the boundaries and the realm that you live in. For some of you, what it is like people don't like dealing with people who are emotional. Okay. They don't like dealing with emotions. So if you're normally an optimistic person and you have an off damn day, right? People are always put off by it because you're just supposed to be there to make them happy. And here you are emotional. And here you now need them. And they're like, hey, whoa, you're too intense for me. You're too much for me. And it's like, but I've been there for you how many times? And you can't be there for me in my dark damn day, my dark night of the soul. Like you can't, I'm feeling like, ooh, I'm feeling that. Okay, well, let's see where that even came from, because I don't even understand. So what's your guys' tea for the week? Career. Now, as you guys know, career to me means where you seek recognition, where you, somebody else you may be trying to impress somebody, you may be trying to attain a goal, a lofty goal, and a validating goal in the material realm. Career doesn't just mean, oh, my job, even though it can be. It means your purposeful energy, right? Where you feel accomplished, where you feel as like it is reaping rewards in the material realm. Okay. We have turkey. Oh my gosh, turkey and Thanksgiving, but sorry. Someone is behaving stupidly. Well, yeah. A lot of people are behaving stupidly. I'm going to try not to tune into Sagittarian energy, but guys, it's in my 7th house. Sagittarian energy is blunt and tactless and bold with their statements. And Trump has a very prominent energy in Sagittarian energy, which is why he says things so off color and people are always so shocked and shaken. But it's actually he's just truly being who he is. Like, Sagittarius is, when they get excited or when they get drunk or when when they're in some sort of altered state or something, or they just are debatable and they're just in a mood, they will just say off-color things. And so, yeah, people are behaving stupidly, saying really honestly. I think people are also striving for somebody to control their circumstances because they don't feel like they have control. You know, this time right now is putting all the focus on you. And even though there's a lot of external stimuli, where are you losing power? And so we want to take all of that energy, we want to project it onto somebody else, and we want to make it all about them, right? So a lot of people are doing that stupidly stuff that card was talking about. We have egg. Success assured with good plans and hard work. Yes, bitch. So the egg is transformation. The egg is, you crack it open and that egg can manifest into a whole life if you let it. Or it can be a sustainable food, right? A protein source. So if you look at this, you have to look at life very mutable right now, even though that's really difficult in energy like this, because we have Mercury in Scorpio and we have Venus in Scorpio. Those are very fixed energies, right? They fixate on something, and they really fixate on something. But our sun is like opening up, and it's like when you're doing yoga and you open your arms to receive. And there's that, when you are receptive like that, it's like you can feel the energy as big as it is, right? But like, I don't know, Scorpio energy never likes that type of expansion. And I feel like that's why they're sister signs, is because they're yin and yang to each other. It's black and white thinking, essentially. Oh, technically, with this Sphinx here. So there's a part of you that has been restricted and oppressed and controlled for so long. And then there's a part of you that's wanting to break free from all of that. And that could be the egg, you know, the breaking free, the breaking open of the egg. We have the skull. Hidden secrets can harm you. We do a lot when we are in the feels. On an emotional level, we try to protect. We try to wear our masks. It's a little hard in energy like this, especially with Sagittarius, because if somebody confronts you and somebody is in your face about something that you feel very fired up about, very fixated on, and if they're contradicting that, that could be a battle of wills, a battle for control, a debatable energy, lots of words, lots of tactless words can be said and shed between the two of you. I feel like also that brings out, if you've ever seen a Cancer, if you know anybody who's a Cancer, Cancers will stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff, and then they will just frack and blow. They will just blow their shit. Like, they just can't. And they're like a teapot, like literally. And they don't even know their own boiling points. So I feel like just be mindful of, look, you don't have, with the sun in Sagittarius, you want to, but you don't have to, even if you're right, you don't have to stoop to their level. Don't do that. So I'm feeling that. We have lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. Yay! Dude, okay, here's what I'm feeling for you, and I'm so sorry. Venus is in Scorpio. It's squaring off with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. The sun is in Sagittarius, and it's like squaring on the day that it moves in there, and it's squaring off with the moon in Aquarius. Then we have some terrible energy in Mars and Aries, squaring off with Jupiter, squaring off with Pluto, and in a quincunx with Mercury. Dude, you do not have to internalize everything. You do not have to make this about you. right? Your opinion is not the most it's not the most important opinion out there. You may know more than some person coming up to you and talking to you about things, and it may be super frustrating, but do not dip down to their level. Keep your energy in the high vibe. If they're sitting here in a fear-based mentality, in a low vibe, and they're trying to control your decisions and they're scared, they're just scared. They're scared because they're emotionally losing control of something that they have identified with, and they're trying to take you there. Don't let them take you there, okay? Because I'm feeling like a combativeness in your guys' week, and this is something that you can absolutely elevate your mind and be above. And just let them be down there in the shallow, superficial world. Let them, that's their issue, not yours. Ooh, this is cards 1. This is holding on to me, this is lots of opinions, lots of information. This is a lot of agendas externally. But you are focusing on your sense of self, and this is more about being in control. You're the one that needs to be in control. I feel like what this means to me is it's like when you're really upset and you're just you're just okay, I'm not going to let this get to me. I can control myself. I can control this situation by being the one in control, the one person that's the logical, rational one, the one person that, if people's boundaries are being stretched beyond a comfortable zone, don't let this bring you down, because you're the adaptable one. You're chill. And if you're the person I'm talking about, the one that's trying to push all your ideals and your dogma onto other people, and you're getting debatable and confrontational, dude, you're gonna have a crappy ass week. So don't do it. Sorry, I feel a little saggy. Whew. Crow, we have the air energy. So let's take a look here. I have to dial back my Sag energy. When I tune into Sag energy, I am obnoxious. Let's face it. Okay, crow spirit. Okay. Spiritually strong, creative, and watchful. The crow has been longest symbol of magic. A crow is, I just want to make sure that's, okay, sorry. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has the gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the 3 realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with the crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet of joyful friends and regular self-study. When in balance, psychic, strong, and clear. When out of balance, ungrounded and hypersensitive. Okay. Again, this is the way I'm feeling. You're one of those people that are kind of looking at everything going, what the F is the world doing? This literally makes no sense, and it is what it is, and you're just rational and logical with everything, and it's just, and you're watching a lot of emotional upheaval, and you're the person who's super in tune with directing the chariot in the right direction, and you want to take everybody with you, and intuitively you kind of feel where everything is going, but I feel like you're just kind of got this really up next level kind of sun in Sagittarius kind of perspective where you're ready to break free. Okay, this is not a popular opinion, but it's real. Trump, like him or hate him, was a catalyst for our world to change, for our very oppressed mind and controlled mind to break free and change things that need to be changed. Hate them or like them, not my business. I don't care what you like or don't like. That's your personal belief system, and I'm not out there to alter that. But is it uncomfortable? Does it create animosity? Does it create division? Does it create deep fears? Yeah. When we're going through big transformative changes, hell yeah. It's nothing but fear, because it's not the way things traditionally have always been done. Number one thing that people say about President Trump, who is still the president at this point, I don't like the lame duck crap. I hate that wording. Like, he is the president. One thing that they always say about him is he does things differently. Nobody's ever done it that way before. He is, it's always been traditionally done this way. He doesn't do it that way. Of course, because we're breaking tradition. Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent. Ooh, I'm doing a Sag thing again. Help me, God. Not be so saggy. Because I'm like a maniac when I'm a Sag. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So we have 91, surrender. So 9 plus 1 is 10, which is a culmination. If you look at the energy on this card, it's orange. That's between red and yellow. Anytime we get an orange color, that's between happiness and taking action, right? And passionate energy. We have to surrender to the way that things are going. We are not in control of this journey. I know that human beings love to think that it's all about them and they are the rulers of the world. Like, that's just their mentality. But guess what? There's something above you. And that's like we are understanding. We are a servant. We have to surrender to nature. We have to surrender to collective thinking. We have to surrender to a collaborative world. America is not the center of the fracking universe, right? We are not the best country out there. We're not the only continent. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bigger than that. That's Saggy. You may not like me after this, because the Sag energy gets into me and I word vomit. Okay, let's not do that no more. Let's pull it back. So I want to know, just because we have Mercury in Scorpio and we have Venus in Scorpio, I'm pulling out my Ghost Tarot. And that we're going to dive deep. We're going to look in the crevices and we're going to get down and dirty in there, my friends. Let's see. Okay. All right. Oh, that card always gets to me like hard. Gets to me hard. Every time I see it, I don't know if it's a personal thing because I am ruled by the sun, but let's see here. Let's do this. Set this upright. Okay. How are you doing, camera? You're doing good. Okay. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Loss. A disappointment. You know what I feel energetically, because this is the beginning of week, end of week, midweek, or beginning of week, midweek, end week. Sorry. Some people lost. And it's a dark night of their souls. And we need to be loving and compassionate with people. We need to be, oh God dang, not so saggy. The good part of saggy. Where we need to help them see the light and just be much more optimistic about the future. And don't be so pessimistic and so lost. I feel... What I feel in this energy is the consequences of losing, the consequences of loss. But there's a lot of people here, so I'm feeling like it's like, oh, I don't even want to keep going there because that's like a hard card for me to feel right now. We've got the sun. This is where we dim our own sun. This is where we don't walk into the sun. We don't radiate. We don't show our authentic self. We hide and suppress all of that. It's where this, in our mind's eye, we want to stay out of the limelight. We don't want to be the center of attention. We don't want to express ourselves. I'm feeling a very intense energy. I'm not going to lie, guys. The Empress. Toward the end of the week. Okay. Whew. I'm feeling like somebody is having an inability to admit that they're wrong. That they were wrong, and that they made a bad decision, or there was a consequence to making a bad decision, and I feel like they just want to hide away from doing that. Like they just, I don't know, they don't want to be in the view of other people. It could have been that you were led in a specific direction and you have regrets about being so easily led. I'm feeling that a little bit. I'm feeling like what you hoped would grow and manifest is not in this lifetime as well. Look, what I'm feeling is a lack of control. I'm feeling like things didn't go in the direction that you had hoped it would go in. And it's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. So let's get my light seer deck here. Okay, let's see what's going on. Whenever I see a crow or a raven, it stops me dead in my tracks and I pay attention because they're a messenger from spirit. Telling you to surrender. Ooh, some of you may have really invested in a specific direction, that the way that you thought things were going to go. And I feel like it didn't go your way. I feel like there's a little bit of ego that's very bruised, and you're just kind of wanting to lay low. Like, or you know somebody who is like that, or somebody is having a really hard time admitting that you were right. It could be that too. You might have been that little oddball, you know, that was just like had the opinion that everybody didn't in your like inner circle. I'm feeling that a little bit. My dog is dreaming. He's so cute. Oh, yeah, I love me a good King of Pentacles. Hi, baby. How you doing? Okay. Alrighty. So let's take a look here. Got a 5, but we've got an ace. So, okay, deep down, we are like dealing with that ego kind of bruising, or that ego issue, or that sense of loss, or literally, at first I felt like somebody had lost somebody, and so it was like pretty overwhelming. Sometimes we get in this headspace. It's good to focus on something new. And it's really pouring your heart and your soul into something that energizes you and puts you back right. So like work makes you feel like your career, for instance, makes you feel like you have control over something. If something didn't go your way, well, you have control over something, right? And that can make you feel empowered in your life, and it can make you feel like a boss ass bitch, which is what I think this lady is. She's a boss, you know? Okay. this right here, lots of cups, guys, lots of cups in this little midweek area. I feel like this is a very, there's some stuff coming up deep inside of you that has a lot to do with the way that you grew up. A lot of the way that you experienced imprinting is what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling like for some of you, I feel like ego is kind of like one of those things that you're wrestling with, and that ego is being stretched. I feel like there was a very oppressive, a controlling figure in your life, not gonna lie. Somebody that had a lot of authority over your life, and the way that you blossomed and flourished at one point. And I feel like they really did a number on you. And I feel like it has made you unable to emotionally. So like if I'm looking at the Seven of Cups and I'm looking at the, because this is a 7. So this one is like directly, kind of focusing on the 7 here. The Seven of Cups, being indecisive, it's really hard for us to really know how to make really strong emotional decisions. We always second guess ourselves if we were controlled in some way and overpowered. We weren't taught to think on our own. We weren't taught to think independently. That's why I'm feeling like you may have been led astray by like mob mentality, or like other people's agendas may have led you in a direction that you may regret, or by, like it could be the person that this could be clicking, and this could be somebody So this doesn't have to be you, but I'm feeling like this person wasn't able to shine, so they became a follower instead of a leader. And when we get the Sun in Sagittarius, it's all about being the leading person in your life, going rogue, man, going rogue and just being your own little bird. And breaking free from a lot of shit that went down in your life. Okay. This is the material realm. This is you connecting with what will grow and flourish in the material realm. You are afraid to want. You're afraid to invest anything in the material realm. There is a feeling of disappointment. You've tried to build things. Maybe it wasn't as successful as it should have been. And you long for, though, that feeling of stability, that feeling of balance, that feeling of being grounded in something that is sustainable, will last a lot. I mean, you're longing for it in this energy. And it's such a great manifesting energy. The Sun in Sagittarius, in a sextile with Jupiter, sextile with Saturn. Let's talk about that. Dude, that is the world is your oyster. That is benefic Jupiter in a great ass mood. It's saying, yes, what do you want? Let's make it happen. Saturn's like, what resources do you need? Let's make some goals. Let's talk about this. Let's take all the wisdom that you've attained from, failure, and let's direct it, man. Let's move forward. Sorry, I have to dial me back. It's going to be so hard. It's so tuned into energy, it's super fast. So we have the Mountain. It has felt like, for some of you, that you have been climbing one hell of a mountain. And it's just like you've been working and working and working and working, and it's just feeling frustrating. When I say the mountain, also mountain is building stability. There's two sides of the mountain. There's the up, you're going up the mountain, and you're going down the mountain. Going up the mountain is extreme. It is a ton of work, right? Going down the mountain feels like this guy, right? So I feel like which side of this mountain are you on? Are you just trudging up that damn hill and it's just ongoing? Are you walking down the mountain and toward the benefic side of it, which could be, there's two sides to this energy. This card is duality. you know, in a sense, because you're seeking to find something deeper, more meaningful, but you're in the shallow realm as well, the superficial realm, the material realm. So it's kind of an interesting energy. Let's do this, because I am going to start making a mess if I don't. Okay, does that look? Looks good. How's that look? Yep. Woo! We've got fire. Yes. Okay, fire and passion. There. Okay, sun in Sag. Hear me fired up. Feel that energy. Flick on a flame and just stare at the flame and just feel the freaking you light a little votive candle, and if you put your hand over the top of that little tiny votive candle, you can feel the energy that comes off the votive candle, right? That's just a little flame. That's just a baby flame. That's not a big giant human flame, right, of energy. So you have the possibility to be this magnificent creature out there, empowering your life, taking action, and just burning everything down. Like, I'm so obsessed with this song right now called Burning It Down. Like, because I'm feeling this Sag energy. It just makes me freaking charged. I feel like some of you need to go out there and get yourself charged, get yourself psyched, get yourself free. I mean, just take all this energy that likes to take away our power and plug yourself back into things that make you feel charged up, right? We have pleasure. Oh yeah, Saggy, because you're feeling the Sag, is in this beautiful sextile with Jupiter and Saturn. Dude, go freaking have fun. Lighten up. Stop worrying. Stop thinking. Stop wondering. Stop. It's all in your mind. Control is literally all in your mind. Yeah, sure, people control our circumstances. We grow up in specific neighborhoods. We grow up in social dynamics. We grow up in economic dynamics. But you think you don't have control over that? Look at the amount of people, read biographies. Like, look at the amount of people who broke their traditional roles and the traditional norms in their life and the social norms in their life, broke free from that and created their own path through that crappy circumstance that was in the material realm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh God, please, no more Sag energy. Uncovering treasure beneath the surface lies great bounty. Oh yes, Jupiter. Come on, man. It's all about the good vibes. I'm so feeling the vibes. Like, you can totally have this energy by the cojones, for sure. Okay. Let's take a look at, let's do your charms next. Oh, I didn't do numerology in the last one. My bad. My bad, I didn't do numerology. Oh well, what can you do, man? You gotta just go with the flow. That's another thing. Go with the flow in this energy. It's a mutable sign, Sun and Sag. Okay, let's see what it says. It says, a sister is someone to dream, cry, sing, and laugh with. Love. Relationship, partnerships, bonds, and unions could be sissies. You know, your little sister. I feel like somebody misses, like, somebody who's really close in the family. That's what I felt. I don't know why. My love is alive. Yes. Come on, baby. Come on. Why won't you focus? Oh, there we go. My love is alive. I love it so much. Oh, you guys just, Sagittarius have the biggest hearts. Huge, giant, expansive, boundaryless hearts. So maybe you guys just need to stop trying to control that big heart of yours and just make it be a receiver. You know what I'm saying? And we had the beautiful dragonfly. We both know that that to me just means really good luck. Are you gonna, there you go. Let's see. I'm trying to learn how to manipulate my camera a little bit. The crown is to me is always power. Come on, man. Hello. What are you doing, friend? Okay, whatever. It's like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't think I need to focus on that. Ooh, don't focus. All right. We're talking, we're jiving. Okay, so it's about not focusing on power and control issues, right? It's about getting away from the square that is so intense in today's energy, or in this week's energy for you, about needing to control and to be an authority in knowledge, or to have a high opinion, or getting into the debatable negative energy. Keep your vibe high. I love that so much. Okay, then we have the Jack of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. So like when you have the Knight of Swords, it's like you're using your mind to manipulate the circumstance. You are very logical and rational. You're not going to just rush in and do something stupid. This is when you dial yourself back and you're like, hey, I'm not going there with you. Like, you are bringing me to this emotional realm. I have more control over that. If you want to get down and talk about it on a deep level, and you want to open this up, let's do that. But let's like not have these shallow, superficial conversations that are motivated by other people's agendas. We have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is, you got to go play. Go play. Go get energized. Just detach a little. We've got this 7 here. You got another 7, guys. And it's the 7 of Pentacles. So we have the 7 of Cups and we have the 7 of Pentacles. So that, and then we have the 8 of Pentacles. This is about growing things in the material realm. You did have the 10 of Pentacles and you had this King of Pentacles. So, and then you had career. Focus on work. Focus on achievements. Focus on goals. Focus on things that keep your vibe high. We have the Queen of Swords here. So Queen of Swords is somebody who is very detached, does not emotionally engage, is intuitive, understands what people's emotions are, but does not ramp them up, does not add. Don't add. There's going to be enough energy out there. You don't need to add nothing to that energy. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we got for words. The last pile spoke so much to me. I was like, hello. Ooh, we've got whatever. Green is what I saw immediately. Green is a color. Let me talk about green. And I got fog. Green fog. Okay, was this an anything one too? Ooh, we got 2 anythings. Yes. Okay. Green, okay. Fog is, you can look at everybody and it appears like they're in a fog. Like they're in a different world. Like they don't freaking understand. When you get in the Sun and Sagittarius energy, then you start fixating like Mercury and Scorpio energy. You start have all this Aries energy in you. You're looking at people like, how do you not, and this is like this speaking, someone is behaving stupidly one. You're looking at people like, what the F is the matter with them? Like, why don't they get it? Like, why don't they understand the big picture? Like, what the hell's going on? And it makes you want to confront them because you want to clarify their thinking. That's the fog. Don't clarify their thinking. They are dealing with their own interpersonal issues and their deep triggers and their emotional, the depths of them and what's lurking around in their murky depths. Be compassionate and loving with other people's dilemmas. If you have this elevated thinking and you can see this for what it is and other people can't agree with you, fine. They don't agree with you or you don't agree with them. Big freaking deal. Sages will sometimes try to impose their opinions on others, and then they'll get debatable because it's like really freaking spicy energy for them, and it, I don't know, revs them up, makes them feel freaking, amazing. But dude, it's not worth it. It's not going to be good for the person that you're doing it to, and it's not going to be good for you. Green is the color of wealth, abundance. Green is the color of growth and flourishing. But green is the color of jealousy and envy. And green is a very unattractive color sometimes too. Now, green can ground you and it could help things flourish in the material realm. It depends on where you want your green energy to go, right? So let's take a look here. What else do I have? That I'm just, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these anymore because, damn, it takes a lot. The teenage realm. The teenage realm, you could look at them and you're like, oh, what are you even doing? Why are you making that decision? But they're teenagers. Like, do you remember being a teenager? Like, you did a lot of crazy stuff too. So don't be so consumed with what your cute little teens are doing. They're making mistakes. That happens. I saw some. And here, someone. I saw someone. I felt like I feel like when we look at people, we don't understand that they're going to be a connection. Someone I feel like may be a really cool connection. May help you, may have some great advice, may help you see things. I feel like someone special is going to come this week. Let's put it that way. Because, or somebody may trigger you to help you understand something about yourself, but someone's got a significant role here. I immediately saw fake. Okay. I mean, a lot of people are wearing masks right now. A lot of people are trying to be strong. A lot of people are trying to pretend like things aren't emotionally engaged with them. Some people are creating whole false personas because they have agendas. Some people are just wearing a mask just to save themselves right now. They're ashamed. Maybe they were wrong. Maybe they feel foolish. Like, fake, the word fake is a big word, and it shouldn't be just like, oh, you're fake, you're a bad person. It's like, no, if somebody creates a whole false persona, then they deeply don't like themselves. That's terrible. That means that they don't value themselves. I mean, that's sad to me. Anyhow, guys, I think that is it for you. Ooh, let's do your numbers. I didn't do pile number ones. Pile number one. It's always like my pile of like, hey, let's figure everything out. And then pile number two is kind of like where I get my jive. We have 5. We have another 7. We have 71. And we have 81. So we did have the 8 in the individual. So just work on yourself. Work on things you can control. At the 7 and the 1, we had tons of 7. It breaks down to the individual level. You guys just work on yourselves. Focus on yourselves. Don't dive deep and work in the depths of you. You don't need to be so focused on other people. Like, that is very clear. We don't have no 2s, right? We have, everything boils down to a 1 here. 5, open to change. And 7 is a big number for you guys. 7 is a huge number for you guys this week. 7 is, lucky, but 7 is deeper than that. It's diving deep, looking beneath the surface. It's like, really looking for those new answers, but, not through your normal resources kind of thing. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Much love to all of you, and just go out there and be the change you guys want to see in the world. Have a wonderful week. This is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead, and we are going to be discussing the week of 15th through the 22nd. So this week we have Venus moving into Scorpio, and we have the Sun moving into Sagittarius. So Venus, the planet that rules our partnerships, our bonds, our unions of any kind. And in this case, it would be resources, things that you want to attract into the material realm, and resources that can help you do that. Also, we have the Sun in Sagittarius, and the Sun in Sagittarius is a breaking free kind of energy. It's much more of a positive, optimistic type of energy. It's your adventurous spirit. It's that need to stretch those boundaries and travel beyond the confines of restricted thinking. It's the elevated mind, and usually this is a very philosophical, kind of expansive, kind of, it's much more of an idealistic type of point of view. When our sun gets into this, when the sun gets plugged into this kind of energy, when our soul gets plugged into this type of energy, it's like, dude, it's let's play, let's be excessive, let's have fun, let's have not just fun, but like crazy fun. Like that's what this type of energy is. But yours is sitting in the Hangman. So what's being activated for you is there's some Neptunian energy, some water-based energy in here, obviously, and some Piscean energy. So if you notice, this card is beautiful because he is receiving a download from diving into the deep subconscious. And by the way, love the abs. I'm not gonna lie, yum. So even though his foot is in the material realm, right, his head is actually in the subconscious mind, which is a direct beeline to spirit. It is a purposeful energy, but that is your karmic destiny. It's that energy, and because spirit right now is such in a blessed mood, we have a trine with Neptune and Pisces, which is in retrograde, with Mercury that's in Scorpio. So Mercury, the planet that rules your mind and your day-to-day interactions and your day-to-day expressions and your day-to-day conversations, and you know, the things that you react and respond to in that physical realm, it's in a beautiful trine with this energy. So this is something you deeply want on an emotional level, something that you need to heal, something that's lurking around in that subconscious somewhere. And whenever we get into pile 3, we get deep into pile 3 because I'm a life path 3. So hopefully I will not get too deep. Hopefully it'll stay a little fun. You guys, the tea for the week is happiness. Yeah. Idyllic happiness. You know, you get to be happy. You know, even if people are fear-mongering, even if people who want control over your happiness are trying to make you in a fearful state, you don't have to match them there. You can be optimistic about the future. You can think that something better is coming. You can feel like you are a creator and you are a painter in your world. And the way that other people have been painting your canvas just isn't jiving anymore. You're not vibing with it. They can't bring you down to their level anymore. You have this bright, sunny Sagittarian energy that is in a beautiful sextile with Jupiter and a beautiful sextile with Saturn. Saturn is normally malefic, but in a beautiful sextile, it is giving you the tools and the resources to create the level of power and control that you want over your own life. This is stretching those boundaries. This is breaking you free. This is expanding your opportunities. It's beautiful energy, and all of that can generate, even if your world does not match, like even if your world does not match this level of thinking, it doesn't even matter, because you just need to exist there. And then that, of course, manifests that level of happiness. We have the Fan, we have romance, celebration, and party. Hell yeah. Pile 3, you guys are you're done with the heavy dam energy. You're done feeling weighted down by drama and just no pleasure. Like, you need pleasure. Yoke. Feeling tied down and frustrated. Hell yeah. We're done. We're done. We're not doing it anymore. Like, we're taking the power back in those areas. Karmically, we shed something. We paid a due, right? We're getting a reward for doing that. And if the world wants to be caught up in the feeling of losing the battle and fear-based mentalities and trying to take back the control over whatever they feel like they need to take back control of, they feel like they're losing control. That's not your journey. That's not your vibe. That's not your road to take. You are going in the direction of adventure. That's a past story, right? We have a purse. Pay attention to your finances. You can be a bit excessive in energy like this. You could be you can be overly confident and a hair excessive. And I say that with just the most love, but we get excessive when we get in the Sun and Sagittarius energy. It's all about a good time, whatever it takes, right? You just got to be mindful. Keep it in check. Oh, look, yes. This is Soul Cards 1. And I'm feeling very Saturn-y with this. I feel like these are rings, the rings of Saturn. And I feel like you are very blessed. And we get to count our blessings every once in a while, guys. We don't have to believe in the doomsday mentality. If it comes, it comes. You're gonna be fine. People like to make us believe and keep us in fearful states because it serves their agendas for us to be fearful, because then we can fall under their control a ton easier, right? But I feel like some of you have been working so hard on your sense of self that you're reclaiming some of that power. And when that happens, you get the reward of that. And it feels benefic to me for you. Oh my God, you got my favorite, the owl. This is just the wisdom of Saturn, the wisdom of this benefic energy. You figured things out. You figured out who you are. You figured out your strengths, your weaknesses, your limitations, and where you can break free and create, a new outcome, transform your circumstances. And you have the wisdom of the owl to do that. So we go through these life lessons with freaking Saturn. Saturn hands our butts to us and our egos to us more times than it actually coddles it. It's tough love, really tough love. But as we move on with Saturn's lessons, and as we move through our life, and as we accept the wisdom, and sometimes that is the removal of ego from that, and as we accept the wisdom of that lesson, and we're humbled enough to receive the wisdom, then from that point on, we start to get a benefic reward. We get the presents from going through all of that tough work, right? Okay. Creativity. Look at doesn't this make you feel good? So pile 3, and we got a 3. This is happiness, and you guys got happiness. Yellow is happiness. It's bringing the sun back into your life. It is the clouds parting and the sun being revealed. It is, that feeling of inspiration and that you get when you create something and you feel accomplished because that came from you. You made that. You did that. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's take a look. I do want to dive a little deep. I know that Saggies sometimes when they get in their playfulness and they get in their idyllic states where they're all about the goods, the feeling good, they don't really like to dive really deep because they are trying to reach outside of a restrictive kind of fearful state and kind of feeling confined. They're breaking free from that. And I'm feeling like the vibe is super high for you, so diving deep may not be the realm that you want to go. But let's see what, because we do have Mercury in Scorpio. We do have Venus in Scorpio, which is why I'm pulling out the Ghost Tarot, because we're trying to dive deep a little bit. Let's not be so focused on shallow. When you get this kind of level of benefic energy from Jupiter, you can be a bit excessive. So let's pull it down a little, you know? Okay. I'm feeling too, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling like people are gonna overindulge. Drugs, alcohol, food, playing. Just be mindful of that. I felt it. Sex. I felt like some of you people are gonna be a little crazy with the sex life. Okay. All right. Sorry, sometimes I do this when okay. Well, we have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is really excessive, guys. The Knight of Wands he's that heartthrob out there. He's not the emotional manipulator like the Knight of Cups can be, or even the Page of Cups can be. He is just all freaking desire and passion and heat. I feel like some of you have a problem with getting all fired up and just going for it. You know, like not a lot of forethought, not a lot of research, you know, not a lot of restraint. Like if you just feel passionate about it, you're just going after it. And that may be a little cray-cray. That may be this purse string thing. Like you financially, when it comes to playing, like financially, it's all down. Like, okay, whatever. I got money in my account. I don't care. I got a bill. Like I want to go play. Just, yeah, that's on the table here. Now we do have the 5, which is, this is actually like a Taurus energy. But it's about your faith. Some of you, you know, I feel like may have had faith in a lot of things, just kind of working out, just kind of going with the flow. I feel like you didn't take a lot of personal responsibility for the direction that things were going in because you kind of just had blind faith. You know, you're like one of those people that are overly optimistic. You can get into energy like this and you can be foolhardy and overly optimistic. And if that is a past-based type of mentality with you, that can make you lose power because then you're not thinking about the future. You're not stable. The high is really high, the low is really low, but the high is really high. And that there's a lot of instability, and that can be in a 3 mentality. 3s tend to do things a little bit excessively. And then we just have the 6 of Cups. Some of you hang on to the past a little bit. In fact, some of you, it looks like may even, the past has a lot of control over you because I'm thinking of the Hanged Man dealing in the subconscious. And I'm feeling like in the past, I feel like you lost power. I feel like also kind of like you might be defining yourself by your past. Like, you had faith in things and then you made, you know, grand gestures and you put faith into, you know, you had faith in that circumstance evolving into something that you were really desired and passionate about, and then it kind of fell through. So some of you are maybe afraid to tap into this high energy because you don't want to be hurt. You're a little protective. So it's kind of like some people have a fear of things going good for them. Like some people have a fear of things going so good for them that they have so much to lose. So they don't want to put faith in it because what if it does give them what they want? I mean, they could fall down so hard and they don't want to do that again. And that's what I'm kind of feeling in this energy. Not sure why. So I'm just going to grab a couple of these cards and then we'll go on to the Light Seer deck. Education. Well, Sagittarius energy is all about looking at things from an elevated perspective. Look, with the wisdom of the wise owl, tuning into Saturn, you're in the subconscious realm, and you've got education on you. This is opening you up. You are evolving into somebody who knows how to use all of the resources that reside in you as a spiritual being, right? And sometimes we didn't know how to route it, right? We didn't know how to direct our gifts. And so it's kind of like I was watching, like the show Heroes. It's like when they're first discovering all of their powers, it's like they have no control over all their powers. And their powers are just going off, and they're their own worst enemy because they're creating chaos in their own life because they don't have any control over their powers. That's like what you are. You don't have any control over, you didn't have any control over the powers that you have. Powers of persuasion, powers of manifestation, powers of positivity, powers of energy management, powers of, being in control of your own circumstances. You gave so much. You were just giving it, but you didn't know how to route it. And so you were like a water source that had the capability of powering an entire town, but you weren't dammed up. You didn't have there was nothing built to manage that level of energy. So it was like this untapped power. That's what I'm looking for, that word. I don't know where all this is coming. Oh my gosh, focus and crystals. How crazy is that we get all this amethyst, all this glorious amethyst. Amethyst energy clears everything out, keeps the negative energy away so that you can learn how to focus all of this powerful vibration in a direction, right? Keeps away the dark energy. Oh, I'm loving that so much. Okay, let's see what the Light Seers deck has to say for you guys. This is a cool pile. It's fun to interpret this one. Cards are just fun. They just take on a vibe of their own. Like they just take on their own life. It's crazy. Like they just speak and they just say their own thing to you. And you're like, where'd that even come from? Okay. Yes, we got the Queen of Cups. Hierophant. Okay, we got the Strength card. We got the Strength card in pile number 1. I'm going to do this too really quick. So we're going to talk about these. We're going to talk about it all. These are my side cards. I love them so much. There is a whole video on these guys because I love them that much. Okay, the wheel. Okay. The turning of the wheel, the ups and downs of a wheel. The energy that is created from the ups and the downs, right? We will never fully appreciate a high without a low. And we will never fully appreciate, or we will never fully learn if we don't ever have a low. And we can't then bring, so I also think of the wheel in this particular circumstance as you are dipping into your subconscious, then you're bringing it conscious. Then you're processing it, and then you're dipping it back into your subconscious. It's going a little deeper with that thought, and then you're bringing it more conscious. And it's the spiral energy that is the divine energy of of transformation, right? As it spirals, it gets more and more clear, and you get more elevated, and you get wise, and you start connecting to the outer planets instead of all this inner energy. You stop being so reactive to things, and you start being more focused and beelined. You understand what I'm saying? I hope that's coming through. Okay, so we have this knight, this fiery little guy, and this could just be a Leo. This could be like a fire sign. It could be our Sag, Leo, and Aries sign here. But so we've got this Five of Swords, and we've got this Two of Wands. So like I said, in the past, I think you guys were a little overzealous. You guys, I feel like you guys fell easily under the spell of situations, and you guys kind of got the raw end of that deal a lot, because you were really easily led in a direction because you were super fired up and super excited about it. But you didn't have the wisdom, or you didn't think it through before you leapt. So now I feel like you're in the extreme of that, where you're indecisive almost, because you're scared to make a decision to move forward. And what if you make the wrong decision? So there's that not trusting yourself, not having faith in yourself, because I feel that in this pile, like not having faith in yourself. This is where you start to understand that you are a powerful manifester in your own life. You are the co-creator of your life. This is where you get a direct download from spirit, if you want it, and if you have faith that things are going to get better. This is the ability to tune into that, and for you to have clarity, next level, because we're in the subconscious mind, because we're in the hangman energy, right? And so this is, you're got a beeline to source. Source is speaking to you guys right here through this hanged man energy. When we're diving, we're going into an introspective mindset. We receive easier there. The deeper we go, the more detached we get away. The more detached we are from the physical realm, which is full of distractions and full of chaos and full of energy created by humans, right? When we dive into the subconscious, we're connecting to our instincts and to spirit, because we're guided by destiny and fate and karma and all of those things, and our life purpose, and those reside deep inside of us. And sometimes our chaotic world can distract us from that inner voice, that inner being, telling us which direction to go in. So then we have this Six of Cups here. This is somebody, I'm not gonna lie, I can see that this is somebody from the past. Somebody from the past who has a Leo spirit in them might be significant to you, might be heading your way. I do see that. I also see somebody wanting to maybe have a conversation with you, or somebody wanting to talk to you about something that's past related. That's something that's unresolved, something that, I don't know, you need to look a little deeper at. There was more to it. I feel like there was an emotion with that little Six of Cups in the back, or this little Six of Cups in the background. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I just feel like the offer that was made in the past resurfaces. We get a lot of stuff resurfacing in Scorpio energy, Venus and Scorpio, relationship, partnerships, bonds, unions, Mercury and Scorpio, a lot of stuff, residual stuff comes up. Some of you have to be strong right now, resourceful. You're not used to being vulnerable. And I feel like you're kind of like, you have to be strong enough to see past Pretty words too. I see that for some reason, like perfect words. They know what to say, the right thing to say to bring you into this past-based situation. Some of you may have to be strong enough to resist something like that. I see coming up here. So hold on, let's do this. The past, even though we are through our retrogrades, did resurface some need. What it does is it's kind of like stirring up old energy, and then there's residual energy that trickles out from that we still need to reprocess. Taking risks, and I'm feeling that too here, guys, not gonna lie. This is adapting a new mindset about something. This is looking at it from a different perspective. See the bird up there flying and this bird up there flying. This is an elevated perspective. This is not, it could be an evolution in the way that somebody processes and thinks about something. So maybe somebody's evolved. Maybe somebody's changed. Maybe somebody is not as shallow as you thought they were. Maybe there's a deeper connection. Maybe there's something you need to explore. Capricorn is, there's two ways that this energy can go. For you, it just feels liberating. It feels like the sun is shining on an area that you need. An impasse. Reflect and redirect your energy. Absolutely. You may be one of those people that tend to think you know it all. You know, it's like, I don't, you know, if you've dealt with a situation and, or you've made a judgment or you've analyzed something, you may feel like you know everything there is to know about that. And this is the wrong energy to tap into, because people are being pushed and stretched, and their boundaries are being expanded, and their comfort zones are being compromised, and they may feel like, you know, they need to get control over areas of their life that they've never been able to control before. Be compassionate and loving. Don't be judgmental and harsh and put people down because that they're not at your level. Like, that's not where you want to be. You want to be in a headspace of being a teacher. If you're tapping into the sun and Sagittarius energy and you're in the high vibe of this, then you're the teacher in the energy. You're the wise one. You're the owl. Okay. Let's do our charms. Okay, potatoes. Okay, it says the love between a grandmother and a granddaughter is forever. I love my granddaughter. I'm sorry, she's so beautiful. She is precious. I love you, Salem. Okay, I'm sorry, but that just, see, all you have to do is tap into a source that you love. And then your heart is just like this receiver of like bomb butt energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as I did that, like my heart just lit up and I have this big smile on my face, and I'm tingly on the inside because I just tapped into something that I love more than anything in the whole wide world. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I got a little... It's so easy to be overly optimistic in Sag energy. Like, I'm so tickled. Like, I feel like the energy is tickling me and I'm just laughing, you know? God, we got the Robin again. How is that even possible? Pile 2, we got the Robin. Okay, so let's talk about the Robin again. The Robin is an opportunist, right? What happens is they wait for the rain to saturate the ground. The worms all come up, and then it's like, hey, life is my smorgasbord. Yes, thank you very much. Like, they don't freaking go in there and dig in hard dirt and like work out. Dude, no. They are much more intelligent than that. They look at it from that perspective. And so I feel like you're an opportunist. Like, maybe some of you are like, hey, you know what? Okay, let's say you don't like Joe Biden, who is the new president-elect. And and it's not confirmed, but let's say pretty much he is. Look at it as an opportunity for change. Maybe it's just a different perspective on the presidency and in our government. We went through one perspective, now we're going through a different one. Just be open to the transition of power and see what that person can do with it. You know, like, don't be so fixated on one person having all of the control over your life. Like, people are amazing. They're full of different perspectives, and there's so many different ways that they can go, and no one person has all the answers, right? We have potato, we have French fries. This always reminds me of a date. I don't know why. It always reminds me of overindulging, indulging on unhealthy things. So I did say, please watch what you indulge on, especially in behaviors that do not have longevity in mind, because you can tend to, like, let's look at these two foods here. Okay, we've got an apple or we've got French fries. Okay. All of us want like the taste of fried foods and just going out there having a good time and throwing all caution to the wind and living in the moment. But really, honestly, we should be eating that apple. That apple has a lot more vitamins and nutrients in it. And it's going to be hard to be focused on what's good for us and not fun, right? Or not like in the moment. We have the dragon. Whenever I see the dragon, of course, I think of fire energy, straight up. But I also think of power, ultimate power. I mean, if you could conjure up your dragon spirit inside of you, you're limitless, right? Because you're a dragon. So that's what I'm feeling like. Whew. Okay, we have the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is not taking all of your opportunities and going with them. It's defining everything by some past-based disappointment where you are still pouring energy into an empty cup. Stop doing it. Like, move forward. You have 2 new opportunities. Just stop and turn around and look in a different direction. Sometimes we put so much energy into energy that can never be anything but disappointment, right? We have a 3. This is pile 3. You know, I think of this card, 3. 3 of Cups, guys, and excuse me, my bad. I thought I had in my bananas. Oh, it was in my last pile. Sorry. We had the 3 over there. We have the 3 here. Pile 3. That's the consistent. We have 35 here actually, but so that's so funny. We have 35 on this card and we have 35, which is 8, this would be like, if you added these 2 together, they would be 8s. And then 8 is like, it's like abundance. It's like success. It's like the number that generates determination and ambition and all those things that get you where you want to be in the material realm. So I'm stretching out my leg while I'm doing this. Mutable energy, man. It's hard for me to stay focused. It's like, because I have a Gemini rising. Sagittarius energy is in my 7th house. So like, oh my gosh, it's just playing. Like, if I could get a partner right now that wanted to just play, we would have such a kick-ass time. But think of your life as just be mindful of extremes and behaviors and having too much fun, because that's what I'm feeling. Like, I want to go out and have some fun after this reading because I'm tapping into Saggy energy. Okay. Okay, guys, let's see what letters have to say. You better say something fun and nice and happy. That's what I wanted. You gonna kiss me or not? I don't know why I thought that. Okay. Oh, I got, oh, am I crazy? Bananas? Oh yeah, I thought of our beautiful friends, they, them, people who have genderless pronouns. Totally picked up on you guys. You guys are really expanding consciousness, by the way, and the fact our identity. I really think that people who don't identify as anything, I really think that they just love purely. You know, it's not about a gender or a role or, you know, the confines of a label. Like, they just love. They just love. I mean, isn't that bomb? Like, be cool like that. I saw this right away. Made. I think of self-made. I think of, in fact, don't we have self-made? Am I bananas? Yes, self-made. I immediately saw self-made. I see like going out there and making a difference. You know, individualistic thinking, not group mentality. You know, I see independence. I see adventurous and bold. And I see somebody who's willing to go out there and just be an extrovert and open-minded and all of the fun things. And that comes from a self-made mentality. You are not identifying yourself through the eyes of somebody else, through a label, through a restriction, a confinement of the identity of your sense of self. You're self-made. You are creating your own sense of self, and you are creating your own identity. Whoa, where'd that come from? Okay, whatever. God, it's like I hear, are you gonna kiss me or not? Why are you playing in my head? Oh, I got mad. Don't be getting mad. Don't be getting all saggy and getting all debatable and getting caught up in this identity stuff. If some people don't understand how you are being you, if people don't get it, they don't gotta get it. You know, if they don't debate with them, don't yell at them, don't tell them how wrong they are, don't bring up statistics and figures and facts, and don't overpower them with all that you know to be true, so therefore it is true. Don't do that. Take control of yourself. I saw take control of yourself. Be focused on yourself. This is not about taking the power away from others. This is the high vibe of this energy is focusing on yourself. That's what I saw. Anyhow, guys, almost forgot the numbers. I forgot the numbers in the first pile. My bad. Okay. Okay, we have 56. We have 73. We have 29. And we have, it's 32. I always add immediately, so 11. We have spirit in this reading, guys. 11. Spirit in this reading, guys. We are reaching a conclusion. And spirit is trying to point you in a direction. It's a different destination, sweeties. You're going down a different road, a different path. Your old life, your old way of being, you're shedding that. And you know, that can be good or bad depending on how well you adapt to change. You really got to adapt to change in Sagittarian energy. If that brings out fears, okay, address them, look at them, look at fear and say, hello, fear. Give it a shape, give it a form, you know, look at it, feel what it's telling you to feel. Vulnerable, scared, uneasy, out of control. Address what it's telling you that you need to work on inside of you. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. Much love to all of you, and just go out there and be the change you guys want to see in the world. I will see you next week.